Good morning, group. How you doing? Hope you had a wonderful election day. There's about three things I want to talk to you about this morning. In particular, I want to spend a little time talking about grading the test. Then I want to move on to things like this senior matters, and I'll try to make this as brief as possible. First off, in terms of grading, guys, it's been brought to my attention that you're not clear on a couple of items. So I want to make sure that I clarify at this point and that you have a clear understanding of what my expectations are and what you should be doing to get ready for college and for the workplace. First and foremost, when you learn a procedure or how to do something, you're expected to know every step in that process. So for instance, let's take annotations. For annotations, you have about 5 to 6 steps that you have to complete to come up with the end product. The end product is understanding and comprehension of that particular piece of writing. That dialogue between the reader and the author and making sense of that. So for myself, I can pull any parts of the larger process out and I can evaluate those. So the idea that I would tell you, okay, I want you to come up with comprehension for this particular article. I want you to fully understand it, be able to explain it, do a little analysis. That's the end product. So in terms of evaluating that, I have to see that you can do that, and I can check any step along the way. Just like if you're a machinist and your boss has you working on a particular part, and you're machining that, and of course they're going to evaluate that final part, and it's going to have to meet the specs that were laid out. They'll also come by and take a look at how you're doing it, each one of those steps, and speak to you about that. That's common in the workplace. Those in charge will evaluate and will comment and provide input and listen to yours as you are engaged in whatever task or project that you're engaged in. So group, the whole idea that I would give you a rubric for a particular annotation, for instance, is a little bit misplaced. Why would I say only look at these particular steps in the larger process? That's counterintuitive, if you understand me, and hopefully you're making sense of this in that, I can, one, obviously I have to be able to look at what you've accomplished, that is your understanding, but also I'm going to stop and evaluate those items I want along the way. And I'm not going to tell you just to focus on those, because then you would do that to the exclusion of the others, and you would tend to think that those particular steps are what are most important. They're not. They're only important to get you to that end product. So along the way, I'll stop and pull things like, well, I want to check, are you developing questions, vocabulary? Where's your analysis? Are you making sense of it at the end? Rubrics have their place and they're wonderful for big projects and for large writing assignments. But on smaller things, group, that's not the way the world works. So let's sort of correct our thinking on that, and let's move towards a more professional and a more workplace and college-oriented concept of how you would use those rubrics or those guidelines, okay? Remember, we're looking for the total product, and yes, we can talk about the steps as we go along. The second thing I want to talk to you about real quick is the tests. I looked at the objective portion, which was the questions you took yesterday, and they're reasonably good, but they are a long ways from what I would hope for at this point in the game. So I'm going to have you do a writing, which I think will probably help buffer your grade, and in all probability, it will probably improve your grade. That'll be explained. That'll be on Socrative today, and I wish you well on that. It's worth 20 points. Yesterday's was 70, so this will be 90 points altogether. So let's see if we can't improve on those tests, please take your time with it and follow the guidelines that you'll be given. The very last thing is senior affairs. We're hoping tomorrow, I'm hoping at the most, we're going to be able to get out the photo at the field, maybe on the extended first. I've talked to Mr. Moran about it, Mr. Rockwood. Bring your coats, guys. It's going to be chilly out there. Yeah, a Michiganian saying it's going to be chilly just means it is going to be cold. So you'll be out there about 20, 30 minutes or more, forming the number 19, and Mr. Rockwood will be up in the stands, and he'll get a shot of you guys, and we'll put that out, publish that, so that you can use that as the senior class photo. Other things, I will have out tomorrow a form where you nominate a flower, motto, song, and colors. And in particular on the motto and the song, make sure that they fit what would be appropriate for school. We'll publish these. You want something that speaks well of the class and that represents the high school. So it has to be, by all means, something that we would be comfortable with. So if you have a song, we have to have the lyrics so that we can look at those and vet those and make sure that it conforms to the guidelines I just spoke about. And then class shirt, we need to get that started. If anyone would like to design a shirt, and Tiana and the other class officers can talk to you about that, it has to conform to what we would want, but I would hope maybe within a couple of weeks we could get that out and started, but we really can't go any longer than 2 weeks on a particular design. Okay, so with that said, I'm going to close this video up, make it short. I wish you well on the second portion of the test. Stay warm tomorrow as you shoot the photo, and I wish you all a good day. Take care.